after the disastrous year of gaming that was 2020, we can safely agree that gaming is dead. Gaming in its current incarnation is completely dead. Well, people on higher levels like me, people who appreciate gaming for the glorious creative medium it once stood for, can agree that gaming is dead. But you have to be a complete brain dead retard to think that gaming in its current incarnation holds any sort of quality, any sort of merit compared to how it used to be, compared to the integrity, the imagination that just flourished a decade prior. 2020 and the 2010s, the entire 2010s for that matter, have been complete and utter dog shit for the medium of gaming. A once glorious ass industry brought to its knees, brought to the ashes it once stood for. But there wasn't just one reason why gaming turned to shit like most might believe. No, there were a plethora of reasons. From brain dead fanboys, drone consumerism idiots who just want to buy the next and hype up the next popular thing, mainstream thing, instead of giving attention to quality games, actually putting work and effort into them. Just buy the same rehashed bullshit. You know the ones, the Call of Duties, the 2Ks, the Maddens, anything EA, anything Activision, anything Nintendo. The type of people who buy and play games like that are the type of people who you don't want in this industry, in this gaming scene, because they just keep poisoning and ruining a once imaginative and creative medium. And it's fucking pathetic. And there will be brain dead idiots who will actually defend this shit, who will actually defend this bullshit. And then another thing is the companies, the microtransactions, again, the yearly releases. They know they don't have to put any effort into these games because the brain dead fanboys are going to chomp and consume these garbage ass games without a second consensus, like there's no tomorrow. These companies know they don't have to put any effort into their video games because you brain dead retards are still gonna buy the shit. Companies like From Software, Bethesda, just making the most buggy, unimaginative mess of a game I've ever seen conceived. Yet they're still getting popular. I mean, these are just garbage ass games. But to destroy any hope that you people might have had that, gaming is going to come back to its glorious form in 2021 and the years to come, I have compiled a list of the highly most anticipated games of next year that people think are going to be good, but in reality are not even going to come close to being good. But before we start, I'm commanding you idiots to follow me over to Twitch, support my content, my amazing high quality content. The only reason why I crafted this amazing high analysis video is because somebody paid me for it. I'm not going to make shit for free. You think movie directors are directing movies or, putting up sets, instructing people to say this line, do this, do that, and they're not getting paid for it? Of course they are. And my content is well above any modern day cinema. Like, come on now. You idiots need to know better. You motherfuckers better understand and recognize my content is on a higher level from anybody on this platform. But yeah. Alright, first up on the list is Cyberpunk 2077. Now I know this is the point of the video where most people are going to click off the video, and that's completely fine and fair, because you're basically just branding yourself as a complete dumbass moron. Well, imagine clicking off a video before I even speak my mind. Clearly this wasn't the video for you. So yeah, as for the people who actually understand greatness, who understand the facts on spade, Cyberpunk 2077, complete overrated garbage game. This was made by that trash ass company, CD Projekt Red, who is responsible for one of the most overrated garbage games, up there with Ocarina of Time, up there with Dark Souls, Witcher 3. I mean, the first two Witcher games didn't even get any attention or traction, but Witcher 3, all of a sudden the franchise is compromised. The franchise is something relevant, something necessary. Witcher 3 was a complete dog shit game. The gameplay sucked, the story sucked, the graphics were subpar even for their time. I mean, there was nothing good about this game. This is one of the most overrated, convoluted messes of a company that has made one of the most garbage games up. The Witcher 3's gameplay was so fucking bad and unresponsive. It had a barren, boring open world like most open world games. I mean, there was just nothing good about this game. Legacy of Kain did Witcher 3 better than Witcher 3 two decades ago, despite its linear nature. Like, just because you add an open world with nothing in it doesn't make it a good game. What's wrong with these companies? That is a trend that needs to die in the 2020s. Just these boring, brainless games with subpar gameplay that get hyped up and and people think they're actually good. This game is complete dog shit. Just another walking simulator. And you know, I know people are gonna get upset. How is this a walking simulator? Because it is. All you're doing is a whole bunch of boring ass side quests. You know, fetch this, get this, kill this amount of enemies in a boring open world. They got fast travel because they know that there's nothing to explore in the open world. That's why these games always have fast travel. It's fucking pathetic. These games are so poorly structured, garbage, and Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be no different. I've seen gameplay of this shit. I've seen trailers. And the thing about me is, I'm a very fair person. I'm not going to shit on a game if I know for a fact it has a semblance of potential. But a game like this, I can tell is not going to deliver on its hype at all. When this game comes out, people are going to realize just how subpar and mediocre CD Projekt Red was when they created these games. The Witcher 3 was nothing but a fluke that will never happen again. Cyberpunk 2077 is going to be another garbage game that will not capture any magic of the creative integrity of the medium that gaming once stood for. It's going to be another overhyped game that nobody takes seriously. Nobody who actually respects gaming like me, only brain dead idiots are going to hype it up. It's going to be a game that dies almost instantly. Nobody's going to be talking about this game like they're talking about The Witcher 3, even though that game is fucking trash. But yeah, Cyberpunk 2077, complete overrated garbage. I will be buying it and I will be exposing it. Next up on the list is Demon Souls. Now, a common complaint people have with From Software, including me, is that they make their buggy ass games. Games are buggy as fuck. But the thing about them is, since their inception, if you go back to the first game they made, it's always been buggy as hell to the point where they gave out their source code to their games for people to fix the shit for them and to make their own levels. That's how pathetic this company is. And it's no different from the first Dark Souls to Sekiro to this now Demon Souls remake. Nothing but boring ass, generic, buggy as fuck, fucked up hit detection RPGs. These games are garbage. The new Demon Souls remake is going to be another reminder of the bullshit that From Software keeps on getting away with by these brain dead fanboys, these illiterate mongoloids who keep hyping up garbage ass practices, garbage ass games that don't have a quality standard because these fanboys don't have standards. They see a game by their favorite company, consume. That's all there is to it. These games aren't good, they aren't imaginative, they're generic, they're boring. Anybody who thinks any From Software game or any From Software game inspired game is good, you are a complete dumbass to the highest order. I'm sorry. I know that might hurt you to hear that. You might be getting upset. But no. And from a guy who's completed every Dark Souls game, every From Software game in the modern era, I can safely say that all their games are shit. The new Demon Souls is going to be garbage. The first Demon Souls was a game that was so bad, so fucking bad, it almost made the company go bankrupt. It was so bad that the president of the company didn't even want to release it. That's how bad the game was. And then people came out of nowhere saying, the game isn't bad, it just has a high difficulty curve. Bullshit. These games aren't good. These games are only hard because of artificial difficulty, because of the bad buggy design, the terrible level design, the terrible gameplay, the fucked up hit detection. I mean, everything about these games just culminating to garbage. Demon Souls will be no different. I seen the gameplay. I seen the trailers. Nothing about the game looks any different from the original Demon Souls. How do you go backwards? This game looks worse than the original PS3 game. Like, how the fuck do you go backwards that hard? Anybody getting excited for this game is an idiot. Dark Souls games and Dark Soul-like games have always appealed to casuals. I know that might be a conundrum in your mind from hearing that, but yes, these games are for casuals. These games aren't for some type of seasoned veteran, like you might want to believe from these brain dead fanboys who keep saying it's hard. These games are not hard. Demon Souls, from what I've seen so far, the remake, it's complete garbage. Nothing to impress. Something you've seen 1,000 times. There's nothing inspirational to get from this game. But of course, brain dead fanboys are getting teary-eyed at a remake of a game that they didn't even play. They didn't even play the original. People who are getting hyped up for this remake did not even play the original. They just jumped on the bandwagon of Dark Souls because it was getting popular, because they heard it was hard. That's all it is. That's all it is to garbage ass games like this. Just popularity. People aren't playing the games because they're good. They're playing them because they're popular, because they're mainstream. But yeah, Demon Souls will be another reminder of the garbage ass bullshit that companies like From Software get away with. This game is going to be complete asinine garbage. Dark Souls has never been a good franchise, and it never will be, contrary to popular belief that what these fanboys might tell you. Trash game. Alright, next up on the list is Halo Infinite. Oh man. What do I even say about this trash? Halo as a franchise has become so stagnant, so irrelevant, so dormant that in order for Microsoft to get any attention with this IP, they have to add the most generic features to it. Halo Infinite is nothing but a garbage ass Fortnite clone. But with Halo slapped onto it, they had to add some shitty, tacky Battle Royale bullshit just to get any semblance of attention. That just shows how desperate Microsoft is. They're scraping at the bottom of the barrel for the most garbage shit, the most contrived shit to put into their shitty old ass IPs that nobody gives a fuck about. They're trying to bring back Halo, Gears of War. Nobody gives a fuck about these trash ass IPs. Halo 4, Halo 5, Gears 4, Gears 5, those games flopped immensely. Nobody gives a fuck about those games. I mean, Halo in general has always been a generic FPS. Contrary to what the fanboys might tell you, it has done nothing new to innovate since its inception, since the beginning. It's always been garbage. It's always been a ripoff of Hitman, System Shock, Max Payne, just way better FPS type games during the same era of the first Halo game. This game is going to be garbage. It's going to be another reminder of the type of trends that need to die, mainly Battle Royale. And Microsoft games in general, like if you're getting excited for a game like this, you are a complete dumbass. I mean, there's no merit to it. I mean, have you seen the graphics of this game? And again, an intellectual like myself knows that gaming, when it comes to gaming, graphics are not the essential prospect. I don't care what you say, graphics are not. But for Microsoft fanboys, the people who usually hype up a game because of the graphics, to be excited for a game like this that looks so graphically inferior to all its contemporaries, it just shows how brain dead Halo fans are. It just consume. It's just fucking pathetic. This is why you cannot take fanboys seriously. These people are idiots. Like, I already gave a thorough execution on this garbage ass game a few months back, spitting nothing but 100% facts. But there's really nothing to say about a garbage game like this. The gameplay is going to be the same shit you've seen 1,000 times, just with shitty Battle Royale. You're going to have a huge open world with nothing to do in it. It's just going to be garbage. The same repetitive rehash shit that you've seen 1,000 times. This just shows that Microsoft is just in such a desperate pinch to try to get some attention drawn to that shitty new console. But this game is not going to be a system seller. This console is going to flop immensely, and so is this game. Halo is trash. Halo Infinite is going to be dog shit. I can't take anybody seriously getting excited for Halo Infinite this day and age. Alright, next up on the list, No More Heroes 3. And No More Heroes has always been a complete irrelevant franchise that nobody ever gave a fuck about. I mean, if you walk up to somebody on the street and conversate about this game, they ain't gonna know what the hell you're talking about. It's just that bad. But of course, a game like this is always gonna garner, a small cult following. And a game like this is a prime example of just because a game is, under the radar, not popular, doesn't mean it's going to be good. Yes, most popular games, most mainstream games are garbage. But just because a game is under the radar, not mainstream, doesn't automatically equate to quality. Which is what something like this is not. Quality. This is nothing but a cheap, boring DMC clone. This is nothing but a cheap, generic hack and slash with horrible gameplay, horrible characters, horrible story. I mean, Travis is a terrible character. They're trying to do this whole wisecracking main character thing like they did in DMC. But Travis cannot fit the build. He cannot fit the mold. And the gameplay is complete atrocious shit. This is one of those games where, like Halo, where you're playing a game, but you feel like you should be playing a better game. When you're playing a shitty game like Nier, but you feel like you should be playing a better game. This is one of those games where you feel like you should not be playing it. You should be playing a better game, because this is nothing but a cheap imitation of better hack and slash games like DMC, God of War, Bayonetta, Metal Gear Rising. Those are good hack and slashes. This is not a good hack and slash. This is nothing but a shitty, cheap imitation. But brain dead fanboys are gonna scream how good it is because it's underrated. But no, I'm trying to tell you, fanboys, underrated doesn't always equate to quality. Just like how popular doesn't always equate to bad. It's just a pitiful, pitiful mindset to think that. But yeah, this game is going to be garbage. It does nothing new to innovate. It's just completely unacceptable in a year like 2021. Complete garbage game. It would have been acceptable if this was 2001 or like 2002, where garbage games were coming out like this. That thought they were unique, thought they were hidden gems, but no, they were hidden trash because they were garbage. This is another one of those games from that era. But for some reason, it's getting 3 sequels. Completely unacceptable for people to hype up a game like this. Garbage ass game. Like imagine hyping up a game like this. This is just a game for people who are so blissfully unaware of good gaming that of course they're going to indulge in garbage games like this, hype up a long awaited sequel to a trash ass game that nobody gives a fuck about. But yeah, No More Heroes 3, another game I will be exposing, complete garbage ass game. Next up is on Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, and oh, how the mighty have fallen. You know what saddens me a little bit about this entry is the fact that Ratchet and Clank was a franchise I used to adore. Believe it or not, the PS2 era of Ratchet and Clank was actually supreme. And it still is all these years later. I mean, Insomniac has done nothing to top those legendary 4 games. And it's really sad. I mean, how can you be this incompetent of a company that 2 decades later, your best work is still 15 years behind you? I mean, let's keep it real. Very, very sad. I mean, this new game looks like complete shit, just like the future games on the PS3. The gunplay looks bad, the writing looks bad. The moment I saw all that shit in the trailer of the PS5 event, I knew this game was gonna be garbage. I would not be buying this game. I mean, I can see why Insomniac just brushed this game aside, this franchise aside in general, and pursued more endeavors like that trash ass Spider-Man game, which I will be exposing later. I mean, they made that trash ass movie, that remake of the first game, which I did not bother to buy because it looked like trash. I mean, it's just pitiful what can happen to a franchise for a company who does not know what to do with their franchise anymore. Just leave it there, leave it in the rut. Stop bringing back IPs if you can't do anything original or unique with them companies. This is just pitiful. It's like beating a corpse, beating an abused puppy, trying to groom them to a perfection, to ultimate complexity, but complexion, but it just isn't gonna work out because you don't have the right tools, the right proper assessment of your franchise. So you just keep making garbage shit. This is exactly what's happened to Ratchet and Clank. I mean, this game is going to be irrelevant. Nobody's gonna give a fuck about this game. This is gonna be another short, generic platformer that just does nothing new or original. The gameplay, the guns look exactly like the PS2 era. This game looks like complete garbage. Will not be good. But yeah, garbage game. Now, Far Cry 6 is up there as one of my most hated, most despised gaming franchises. I hate Far Cry. I've always hated Far Cry. I've always thought Far Cry was nothing but a generic FPS. But with a twist, people, it's set in the jungle. Wow. This game tries so hard to be original, but it just fails and ends up falling into all the tropes it tries to subvert. I mean, the gunplay is trash. Expecting your gun, like, come on now. This game tries so hard to be between the generic FPS and an immersive sim like System Shock or Deus Ex, but it just can't even fit into either because it's so garbage. It's so bare bones. I mean, I know I rack on Halo because Halo is garbage, but Far Cry is up there as another generic bare bones FPS that doesn't do anything original. There's nothing interesting about a Far Cry 6. Like, I didn't even know there were 6 installments to this trash. That's how irrelevant of a game Far Cry is. It's only popular because Ubisoft makes it. If this was made by some shitty no-name company, nobody would give a fuck about this trash-ass franchise. Because the games are garbage. But it's just because it's a mainstream popular game that people want to play it. People always play these games for a few seconds and immediately forget about them. That's how forgettable these types of games are. One and done games. A real FPS from this era would be like, from the old era of Far Cry, which is also trash, would be like Army of Two. That was a good FPS. Play a game like that, not trash like this. We live in an era where Far Cry is still thriving, but shit like Army of Two is just left in the dust. Very, very pitiful. Far Cry 6 will be another Far Cry from good games. I mean, oh shit. This game is going to be trash. I cannot take any Ubisoft fanboy. And what even boggles my mind is that Ubisoft even has fanboys. I mean, you people love paying $1,000 for more merchandise. I mean, not merchandise. Well, you might as well call it merchandise, known as fucking DLC, microtransactions. I mean, it's pitiful. You people are losers. You people are losers. Anybody getting excited for any Ubisoft game at this point, I mean, after all the shit they've pulled over the decade, and you're still getting excited for a game just to go ahead and complain. Like, this is the cycle of a Ubisoft fanboy. They get excited for the game, right? Then they play it. Wow, that's so many microtransactions. And then they still play the game. Still buy the microtransactions. Same can be applied with EA or Activision. You always hear some type of ruckus about these companies and their microtransactions, their scummy ways. But at the same time, you're still going to buy the games and actually buy the microtransactions. So why are you complaining? Stop trying to act like you have a standard like me. I would never play a trash game like this. I'm here to expose it. But yeah, this game is going to be complete garbage. I can't take anybody seriously getting hyped and excited for a game like this. It just doesn't make any sense. Doesn't. Next up on the list is Hitman 3 by Studio No Name. Hitman 3 is going to be another garbage, overrated game that nobody gives a fuck about. I mean, this is nothing but a Thief MGS ripoff. And stealth games have always been trash, but at least a game like Metal Gear Solid or Thief had a little bit more to offer than just basic stuff. The only thing you're doing in games like this is stealth. Stealth games are garbage. They try to sell you on the variety of how you can take out your enemy, but at the end of the day, you're still going to be doing the same mundane shit. Sneaking, waiting, sneaking until you get the right opportunity to kill somebody. That's not fun. That's not entertaining. That is not innovative. I would rather just play a mindless shooter at that point. I mean, this game is like, people really think there's some type of intellectual, some type of master class thief by playing a garbage game like this. Try that shit in real life. Watch you get injured. Watch you get arrested. This game isn't some accurate depiction of real life. This game is garbage. Hitman 3 will be another garbage blunder on the era of gaming. This is nothing but a Max Payne ripoff. If you want a game similar to this that's actually good, play Max Payne, because Hitman is not it. Hitman has never been good. Hitman has always been a trash franchise. The only the most bottom of the barrel, the people scraping the most corners of the creeks would play. That's just an objective fact. This game is going to be garbage. Cannot take anybody seriously playing a game like Hitman 3. It just isn't worth it for your sanity to actually play such a horrible game and think it's actually good. It'd be different if it was a guilty pleasure, but no, it is not. It is not a guilty pleasure. There's nothing guilty or pleasurable about a game like this. Just complete boring garbage. The next unfortunate candidate on this list is Gotham Knights, and oh my god, what is up with the saturation of gaming in superhero movies? It's just fucking pathetic. Like, come on now, do we really need another Batman-themed superhero video game? Just so saturated with garbage. And the company making this is so creatively bankrupt that they're reusing ideas from a previous game. A game like this already existed on the 360 with DC characters battling each other in like a 4v4 battle royale type shit. This already happened. This isn't something new or unique. I mean, come on. This is just trying to ride the coattails, the hype of the DCU, the new Batman movie coming out, the Snyder Cut, the Wonder Woman. All this shit is just combining into artificial hype for this trash ass game because they know that brain dead fanboys are still gonna buy it. It's just pitiful. I mean, there's really nothing to say about a garbage game like this. There's going to be a game that's getting so many reviews and shit, getting so many outlets talking about it, but when it's time to come out, crickets, dead on arrival. That's the name for games like this, dead on arrival. No, this is not going to be some long-term game. Games like this are never long-term. They are short burst games. You play them for a while. They get hyped up for a while. They are not memorable in the slightest. Nobody's going to remember this game. I mean, come on. This game is going to be complete and utter garbage. I cannot take anybody seriously getting excited for a DC game. Another Batman game. Just the most saturated market. It's just pitiful how people can just be this blinded by stupidity. A Batman movie, Batman game, I'm gonna buy it. Like, come on. Use your brain, use your noggin, use your simple-minded, peonic mind. I mean, it's just pitiful how you people think. You people don't think in angular ways. You people think in a linear fashion, and it just shows. It really shows, hyping up garbage like this. Never me. I could never do that. But yeah, Gotham Knights will be another garbage game not to take seriously. Call of Duty has been a franchise that has been creatively bankrupt for a decade and counting now. I mean, how can you stupid motherfuckers keep falling for this dumbass shit? They did the exact same thing to you dumbass idiots with WW2. Call of Duty WW2 was supposed to be a return to form, right? What wasn't it? But you bitch ass motherfuckers ended up complaining and crying. What did they do to you people? What did they do? Microtransactions, more bullshit, shitty gameplay, battle royale, shitty maps. Just more garbage. Like, you people need to stop falling for the same shit. I bet you idiots think Cold War is going to be a return to form. Little do you know, Activision has a straight up middle finger to you idiots. Any of you dumbass idiots who believe that. They don't take you people seriously. Just like I don't. No real gamer like me would ever take you bums seriously. How can anybody defend Activision after the shit they've pulled this entire decade? From Black Ops 4 to Modern Warfare Not Modern Warfare, Advanced Warfare, you know, Ghost. Like, come on, game after game, Activision is just on a track record of mediocrity since MW2. But you dumbass idiots keep getting excited and hyped up because it's a brainless button masher, a brainless FPS. You know, you just go to team deathmatch, whole R2. You just waste your fucking days. Like, it's just pitiful. Like, if your life is that meaningless, at least waste your days on a good game, not the same rehash shit. Activision is the biggest offender when it comes to just rehashing the same shit next to Nintendo. I mean, this game is not going to do anything to impress. It doesn't look impressive. The gameplay looks garbage. I mean, there's nothing good about this game. I really don't see how can you brain dead idiots still hype up Activision and support them? You have to be children. You have to be children. But of course that isn't true because there are adults too who still hype up Activision, who cry and bitch about, you know, microtransactions, shitty maps, shitty gunplay. Like, this game is going to be another game with horrible gunplay. The first time you look at somebody, you instantly die. Knives are going to be useless. You stab somebody, the knife doesn't work. I'm just so fed up with this franchise. I have not bought a Call of Duty game since MW2. I play other Call of Duties, but I have not bought them because they are garbage games, and they will never be good. Call of Duty has been dead since a decade and counting. Garbage. There is absolutely zero hype for this game. I'm only putting it on here for the simple fact it was made by that hack who made Dark Souls and that other hack who made Game of Thrones. I mean, two of the most overrated garbage pieces of media in this day and age. You can already tell this game is going to spell disaster, just like every other From Software game, like any Shakespearean story. I mean, Dark Souls or From Software is just a company just so void of imagination that all of their games are literally just reskins of Dark Souls. Sekiro, Dark Souls with ninjas, Bloodborne, medieval Dark Souls. I mean, come on, it's just pitiful. Elden Ring is going to be another shitty Dark Souls clone. How can you rip off your own game this hard? How can you rip off yourself this hard? These people are just pathetic. They don't know how to do any other type of game but ripping off a game from their previous installments. It's just pitiful. I mean, how can you be this void of creativity? And the funny part is that this game isn't also just ripping off Dark Souls. It's ripping off another From Software game called Eternal Ring. Another ripoff of that game. But this is supposed to be some open world Dark Souls. It's just pitiful. I mean, Dark Souls was trash for its linear nature, but I guess adding a barren open world equivalent to The Witcher 3 is gonna be good. No. Two wrongs don't make a right. Two negatives don't make a positive. Don't you dumbass idiots understand that? This game is going to be trash, dead on arrival. Nobody's gonna talk about this game. They're just gonna call it open world Dark Souls, but then go back to playing the other Dark Souls games, which are equally trash. I just see no merit to a game like this. I can't believe people are calling this game Game of the Year, Masterpiece, before it even comes out. Pitiful. Just like Cyberpunk 2077. Two garbage overhyped games that are not gonna deliver on their hype. Trash. To the highest degree. Last and least is Spider-Man Miles Morales. I completely forgot about this game. This game is complete fucking garbage. I mean, the base game was garbage too. So what do you expect? And Insomniac is just such a trash company. They have not made a good game since they made those fucking shooters. I forgot whatever shooter they made. I mean, Insomniac has not been making any numbers or hits. People only like that Spider-Man game because of the Spider-Man Homecoming hype. And since the Spider-Man hype is dead, this game is going to be dead on arrival. I mean, that Spider-Man game was nothing but a walking simulator equivalent to Red Dead Redemption or Last of Us. Sure, you could swing, but half the time you were just walking and talking and cutscenes being played. You couldn't press shit. You couldn't do shit. And didn't that game have quick time events? I mean, garbage. I never played that garbage ass game for more than like an hour because it was so trash. And this game is literally just a DLC that Insomniac decided to make a full game because people kept bitching and crying at Insomniac. And when you're a game developer, when you're a game company, when you listen to people who bitch and cry at you instead of people who actually fuck with your game, it just shows how much of a shitty company you are. You should never bend the knee to these trash ass consumerism cucks who just want to play garbage. You know, the same walking simulators. You're already making a trash ass game. Now you want to make it even more trash? Now you want to make your trash even more garbage? How pitiful of a company do you have to be? I mean, this game is going to sell horribly. This game is not going to sell well at all. It's going to be shit. It's going to be dead on arrival. Much like the base game. It's going to have the same shitty gameplay because it's fucking garbage. Complete overhyped trash. They're taking Spider-Man, turning him black, and making it a new game. The gameplay is going to be the same. The story is going to be the same. I mean, nothing about this game just screams unique or original. This game is going to be garbage. Spider-Man Miles Morales is going to be one of the most overhyped games. Let me say it again. One of the most overhyped games to come out of this decade. And the decade has only begun. But gaming is just completely dead with these trash ass games. With this caveat of trash ass games coming out. I mean, I don't see gaming ever returning to its once glorious form. But yeah, these games are complete garbage.